When you ask me how God has affected my life, there's a lot of things that I could stumble upon, a lot of things that I could say. There's times where I feel like He's not there. Maybe that's because He hasn't answered my questions or whatnot. But throughout life, He is a constant somebody that I can turn to help take out obstacles in my way. Someone that I can always lean on. Someone that's always there that I can talk to.
Hi, my name is Jihi Loblack. I go to Cal U. I'm in my junior year studying pre-medicine. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the inspiration that God has had on me my whole entire life. I grew up in a Christian background home where we would go to church, pray before we eat, and pray before we go to bed. Definitely, I could say, even though I grew up in the Christian background home, God has definitely impacted me, and I've definitely found my relationship with God, for sure. I talk to Him every night, go on my hands and knees, pray, and just thank Him for everything. Just thank Him for another day alive. Thank Him that I'm able to get out of my bed and walk. I'm able to see my family and friends, talk to them. No one's sick, dying. Just be able to see another day. I really started my relationship, I could say, really talking to God one-on-one, deeply about my problems and struggles. Really, I think I was about, let's say, 12 or 13. My grandfather passed. Definitely, that's definitely a hard time to get through, for sure, with me and my family. With a lot of crying, a lot of tears, for sure, especially for me, just to know that like I'll never be able to see him again, talk to him again. Definitely touched me, hurt me. Took some days off school just to understand understand the new life living without him. But talking to God every day, I know He's watching from above, down on me, smiling at me, proud of me. Definitely, if I could ever go back, wish one thing, I definitely wish He was there to see me graduate elementary school, high school, and soon to be college. But every day I know that He's looking down at me, smiling, saying, "Yes, my grandson, he's doing it. I'm very proud." One of the quotes that I could say definitely keeps me going, helps me through all struggles, even after the whole death, through all the problems I have, personal issues and going through school and everything, is definitely that God gives His toughest battles to His toughest soldiers. Basically, that meaning is that even though when you think it's hard and you have it rough, and you just want to give up, you just can't give up. God has a better outcome for you, and like it may be hard right now, but trust me, it's definitely going to be better in the ending. So I could definitely say I live by that quote, and that quote definitely helps me get through a lot, for sure, a lot. Well, thank you for listening to my story. G.
I'm Josh Moore. I'm a junior here at Roberts Wesleyan, and I'm a criminal justice major. So I came from Brooklyn, New York, from a little town called Cypress Hills, and it's not even that like high class. It's a low class neighborhood, and a lot of people that I've known, that I've grown up with, that lived on my block, they've done high school, but they didn't really have like that kind of work ethic. So after a little bit, they dropped out. So to say the least, a lot of people haven't even made it to college. So me personally, I feel really blessed to make it here to college, and also like my support system back home, it's fragile to say the least. Like my parents haven't really been the best to me. They haven't really helped me out. So I've been like working since a young age, since like I was 14, I've been working. So to make it here, I feel just blessed by God to be, following my passions here at Roberts Wesleyan. So
Congratulations to you, Josh.
thank you.
Okay, so I guess the hardship, the first thing that comes to mind is I had a nephew that passed away. He was 4 years old, and this happened back in 2001, and he had leukemia, and went to the hospital, and things happened there, and he's making some good progress. He went into a coma, and long story short, he passed away. And it's pretty challenging because my own kids were very young at that point. It's challenging just to deal with personally, and then being his uncle, and then having to explain that to my own children. It was a bit of a challenge, and you kind of question, why did God let something like that happen? But being a man of faith, you know that everything happens for a reason. And there's so many things that you don't understand, and as you get older, you realize that list keeps growing. You find out that you know far less than you thought you did when you were younger. So being a man of faith, you just kind of have to accept that for what it is and trust that God is in control of everything that we do, think, and say in the universe and so forth, and you try to move on as best you can. How does that influence my life? On some level, it gives me a sense of peace, because I know that I don't have to be in charge of everything. I think as a male, I feel like I have to control everything with my family and my children, and I know that I can lean on God for wisdom, for direction. I know that I do that in my own professional life. When I make any kind of decision with my profession, I certainly come to prayer in regards to that. With recruiting, I pray about my recruits and who I should be recruiting, and I ask that God would open my eyes and help me lead this team and continue to push along the principles and values from which this program was defined long before I was even in the picture. So I would say that certainly God is an integral part of my life and everything that I do, think, and say. And again, sometimes we revert back to old habits, and we kind of depend on ourselves, only to realize that we come up far short of where we need to. We have to lean on someone much larger and someone that has control. And for me, that's God, and that's what I try to impress upon my kids and the players that I come into contact with. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There we go.
Hi, my name is Shakur Rouse. I'm a soccer player here at Roberts Wesleyan College, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario. The hardships that I had in my life were to deal with my father really not being around, but just me, my mom, and my grandmother. How God has influenced me is to be able to persevere without a significant person in my life. I feel like there's been many challenges in my life that I had to overcome due to this feat, but with two extremely strong women and the presence of God in my life, it always kept me to keep moving forward.
Thank you, Shakur.
Hi, my name is Scott Carson. I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a senior, and a hardship that I've struggled through was when I was a sophomore in high school. One of my close friends passed away on the soccer field. That was a very, very tough year for me. He was one of my best friends, and for a long time I drifted apart from God. I didn't understand why he did this. It just didn't make any sense to me. But through this, I got closer to my pastor, and he helped me through all this, and just built like a stronger relationship with God. And I learned yes, accidents happen, and just things happen in life, and we can't take it for granted. And so that was a really hard time for me as a sophomore in high school, and I've been able to overcome that just through the people that God has put in my life, and just through the struggles that he's put in me, and I've built a better relationship with him. How he has influenced my life is I'm adopted. I came over here to America when I was 5, and he put me into a Christian home with Christian parents. He's been giving me this a family that has raised me to live a better life rather than live in Vietnam, where it's a poor country. And so he's given me this opportunity to learn, to grow, and to learn more about him. And so he just basically gave me a fresh start and a new life, and he's definitely impacted my life because of that.
Thank you, Scotty Carson.
Of course.